All right, everybody, welcome to Foreclosure Tuesday. We're going to start calling it Foreclosure Tuesday. We're going to start calling it Transactional Friday. No, that's not what we're going to do. This is Hunter Pascal. I am here with you, and we are on Transactional Tuesday. I've got a pretty good friend of mine. I got a pretty good show for you today. Talk about, real estate again. We're talking about the real estate. But first of all, we got to talk about this is February 2nd, right? February 2nd. And what does that mean for all men and all women? Well, a few things. There's a few different things about February, and I'll let Mike know so he doesn't forget his newlywed. He's got to get her a Valentine's, and I think that's on the 14th, 13th, or 14th. I better remember the dates.
14th.
Thank you. See there, he knows the day. Good job, Mike. So again, here we are. It's Hunter Pascal. Transactional Tuesday. I'm your man with the Eagle background there. That's because that's who we are. Love America and love the Eagle, right? We love our country. So today I got an interesting guest for you. He's not new to me by no means. I've known Mike for about 25 years. And we've been friends and we've done business together. We've done different things together, building projects, rehab projects, and all kinds of things. But, and Mike's got his own successful company, Home Builders Network. And he just told me today that he just got a new gutter machine, I think. Well, they can talk about that a little bit. But everybody in Florida, you got to have a gutter because you need gutters when that rain comes down. And if it's just going where places you don't need to go, the gutters defer the water away from homes, right? And then so it saves you from having to call Mike in to do some expensive repairs on your house if you don't have gutters. So that's another thing. So yesterday, Mike came in the office and was pretty excited. It was a pretty exciting day for us as well. And we're going to talk about that on here. We're going to talk about 5-10 minutes. We're going to talk about the deal that we've just completed. Actually, it's been completed a while. He just got paid. I was letting him hang out. I was collecting interest on his money and still I paid him. But so here's the deal. So Mike, tell us about the deal that we shared about. We did a video earlier that we shared yesterday, but now that we're all calmed down and we're relaxed and you probably got that money in the bank and probably figuring out how to spend it and all that. Tell us out here how I want to know how hard was it to find this deal?
It wasn't hard to find. I was just driving through the neighborhood and ran into somebody I know and handed him a card. And a couple of days later, my phone rang.
So when you handed this guy your card, was it your business card? Was it I Buy Houses card or what was it? I mean,
no, it was just my regular Home Builders Network business card. And, again, we were driving to the Carolinas. My wife was next to me and she answered the phone and she's talking and I'm really sorry. We don't sell houses. We fix them. And I'm like, well, hang on a second. Let me find out what's going on here.
I didn't hear about this part.
There was a little misunderstanding because when I gave the card, it's for home improvement. So when we got a call, they were wanting us to sell the house or buy the house or whatever, and got mixed up with the names of the guy's name was T-Mac, or his real name is Dennis.
Yeah.
And he had a landscape company. So I told my wife, I said, let me talk to this lady and find out what's going on. So, she basically told me that, she had a couple people that had talked to her about buying the property and they were interested. And if we were there, we can come take a look at it. Of course, I called you right away because I wasn't in town. And I remember you saying, you got to get, early bird gets the worm, you got to jump on it while it's hot.
Especially in this market.
Yep. So, I guess you went out there that day and decided to bring a napkin with you or something and write a contract on it.
Well, that is a true story. I didn't bring the napkin, and actually it was a piece of nasty paper laying around the house that they had. They had actually were writing notes on stuff for whoever was going to buy the property. And so the person you gave the card to, let's back up for a second. So the person you gave the card to was somebody you knew that did what? They a landscaper? What?
He was a landscaper. He's a retired landscape contractor that was basically caretaker of the home for the lady because she lives in South Florida.
Actually, this home we're talking about, right?
The same one, yep.
So you told him, hey, man, I'm thinking about buying another house or something. I knew you had said something about, you had to mention to him about a house buying, or he mentioned to you about the house or whatever. So the language of the conversation was just a regular conversation with somebody on the street, right?
Yeah. I basically, I thought, because I had known him in passing, I seen him, at the store in the morning getting a coffee and what have you, or pulling his trailer and waving to him. And I never knew where he lived, never been to his house. And I was like, is this where you live, or you landscaping again? He said, well, I live down the road, and I just help the lady with the house. Her brother just passed, and we're gonna try to get the house sold. And I said, well, I'd like to buy it.
Right. So you let them know. So basically, it was that easy to let somebody in your warm market meaning a market Mike created, because it's somebody he sees on a regular basis, like you said. So this can happen to anybody, anywhere. Yeah. And you just let people know what you're doing. I mean, that's what I talk about. If you're not marketing, I mean, your truck has, all kinds of, what is it? It's not striped, it's wrapped. It's wrapped with Home Builder Network and all that. And I keep telling them, man, put on there, We Buy Houses Cash somewhere, stick it somewhere on your truck, but that's not what he does. He focuses on, general contractor, GC, and windows, doors, trim, gutters. Now I hear you got a gutter machine or something you bought.
Waiting for it to come in.
So he's got a gutter machine. If you ever need floor stripped, I should have brought that postcard in here. He's got, and actually I'll put it up on, I'll take a picture of it and throw it up on the thing too. So anywhere around here naturally. So he's got, machines for stripping floors, a floor stripper. If you don't want to, get out there and bust the paint and have it done, he's got the machine that cleans it up nice and clean, professionally. It's not that a cheap floor machine you go down and you rent from Home Depot or nothing. This is an actual tool that's what it's for. So Mike's very educated on roofs, windows, real estate now. He saw how fast that can happen. So from the time you talked to the landscaper and you got to call me, so I didn't hear that part about the lady called you. So the landscaper gave the card to the homeowner, the owner selling the property. They called you. Your wife didn't know this transaction really kind of happened. You were just out there baiting up business. And she's expecting a call for somebody to do some construction work. And she almost hung up on the call. Thank God she didn't hang up on that call, because we wouldn't be sitting here, $12,500 richer between the two of us. Wait till I have that conversation with her.
Well, sequence of events, right?
Yeah, sequence of it. So basically, it's good that you had the open ear to listen to what was going on with that call, that you were driving, so you picked the call up. And unfortunately, you were already out of 3 or 4 hours or a couple hours out of Orlando to your destination for Christmas or New Year's or whatever it was. Had to be between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah.
For Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we put it under contract. I don't know. We closed on it January 5th, right? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. We closed on it January 5th is when we actually closed on it, when we bought it. And we sold it now on a wholesale, because we were going to decide whether rehab or not. We could have done either or. So we put it on the market for a couple of weeks, just on all of our lists and stuff. Nobody would buy it. We got a bunch of offers at what we paid for it or below. And we found somebody that does rehabbing for a living. They're going to buy the property. They're going to rehab it. Actually, I might even get to fund the deal for them. So that's pretty cool. So I'll make a little more scratch on the other side. And they're going to fund it. I mean, it's already funded. So I just do their carrying. They put the rehab in it. They rehab it and sell it. So we made 25 on some phone calls, just putting out a little. You don't even have anything about buying houses. Just talks about it to somebody. And that's all you got to do. The key is having somebody on your team that knows how to put the contracts together and make the deal happen. Not saying Mike couldn't have got it done by himself or nothing, but to be able to go over there, the lady talking to people already. I just walked in the house, looked around the house, and went through it. And they were actually physically working on it. And I told the son of the lady that was there, he was in there doing some drywall patches and all that. I said, hey, man, this house needs to be redone. You can just stop right there. I'm going to go ahead and make an offer y'all can't refuse. And so you can go home and not have to do any more work. And he was like, oh, God, please do it. Please do it. So I took care of him first, because I knew he needed the relief of doing work that he doesn't want to do anyway. And then the mother was around cleaning up things. So I finally met her in the kitchen after I looked around and talked a little bit. And I just made her a solid offer. I said, how about $200,000 net in your pocket, which is one of the easiest ways that to get a seller to understand what they're going to receive after closing. Because typically when you have a seller and you make a contract to them, you got offers, you got commissions, you got closing costs, you got this, you got that, you got lien search, all that stuff. And what I did was, because of I knew the person, the player, basically by reading her body language, and I mentioned some lower numbers in the beginning, and then it was a little bit hemming around. So then I finally said, how about this? How about $200,000 in your pocket at closing? So you don't have any guesswork what it's going to cost and all these things, and I'll provide the closing attorney and all that. And that's what it was. So now what we could have done, we could have took it and not funded it and just put it under contract, sold the contract without funding and all. But I don't think we would have realized as much money as we did the way we did it, because the lady wanted to close pretty quick and she wasn't shooting around. She kind of knew there was people that were doing that type of thing, signing contracts, doing the wholesale game. So what we do is we fund everything just to make sure we don't have any hiccups anywhere, especially if it's a good deal. So Mike got a check for $12,500. How much time between stopping your wife from killing the deal and the phone, which I never, that makes this story more interesting, by the way, because
don't say stop her from killing the deal. She didn't know.
Yeah, the killing the deal she didn't know about, and it's a newlywed too. It's her newlywed deal, right? Because they're newlyweds
already.
Yeah. So I mean, that makes the deal more interesting, because we do these deals all the time, every day. People call us, and then you got to know values and do all that. So like I said, we told the lady we could close in 7 days. So we closed, bought the property, put it on the market here and there, and nobody wanted to pay. And finally found somebody to buy it. It's going to rehab it. That's what they do for a living. And then they resell. And so we made a quick $25,000 on the transaction by communicating, by Mike handing out a card that didn't even say anything about buying houses. And he got the call. Again, in this industry, you don't know where your next deal is going to come from. You just need to know what to do with it when you get it. You just need to know what you do with it when you get it. Number one, you have to have the connections. And for us to even go there and close the deal for Mike, right out of the gate, Mike recently joined our program. So, Mike's been a long term. I've known him for a long time, but he knows the real estate game that I've been doing for a long time. And it's not his first lead he sent in, but it's the first good lead that he sent in with a phone number. And so we have been close. As a matter of fact, one of the other leads you talked about the other day, it did go to sale. The bank took it back because they wanted too much money for it. That was the one in Deltona. I think it was Deltona. But so Mike's around all the time, driving around. So really, this is how you can get bird dogs for yourself. You can get contractors like Mike that are riding around doing these things. And then Mike got his lead from a lawn maintenance guy, all the connections. So that all happens. I mean, today, I had a real estate agent call me Friday or Thursday. He didn't call me, texted me, said, hey, would you like to buy this house? And I said, sure, let me look at it. So I asked her, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? She would never tell me. She was just go look at it, Hunter. So I went out and looked at it with Debbie on Saturday, and we ended up coming up with a number. I sent them another offer of a net number. I said, I can pay the seller $125,000 net. So people like that, and it's all cash, and I can close quick. Those are the best, easiest closings you can get. So if you have the backing and you have the money, you can make those offers. And that's what we provide in our training and our coaching and our services. So we can do that. We have the funds. So Mike and I partnered together on the deal. So he got his split, I got my split, and we move on. And that's how easy it was. So that was about what you said, the call with your wife, you're driving on vacation. I mean, how much besides beating me out there when I had COVID and all that stuff? So Mike wouldn't even come around me because he wore a mask. I didn't, because I had to speak on the interviews on January 5th. So if you want to see the house and you're here, I don't have pictures today, but you can go see the interview I did with Mike. Not an interview, but when we looked at the house together and when we were deciding on what to do, I did a video there. So you can go back on January 5th on my Facebook and see that. And you can actually get a good eye of what the property was and how it sold and what it sold for. So I want to drag Mike on here today. I know he's busy. He's at home because it's 30 degrees here in Florida. And when it gets 30 degrees, contractors don't leave their house, right?
Estimate.
You haven't got, huh?
Estimate day.
Estimate day. So you do estimate day.
All day estimates.
So you're probably there in your damn underwear at home. Probably put the shirt on for this call. Yeah, put the shirt on for this call, and he's estimating jobs. Again, Home Builders Network is Mike Maroli's company. And Kate, his beautiful wife, again, newlyweds. What a newlywed check, $12,500 just having a wedding and all that. So that'll help the bank account, right, Mike? It helps solve ease a little bit of the pain on January 2021.
Sure, paying off my truck this week. So,
oh, well, there you go. Yeah, and he's got a nice truck too. So, Mike, anything else you want to add? You want to tell anybody out there? You want to give us the credibility, or?
Well, you definitely went to the table and showed what you can do and what your worth is. You've always been fair and honest with me and very upfront about everything. And I'm astonished at how quickly you got the deal done, to be honest with you. I'm floored. I mean, I'm more than happy to split a check with you anytime to get it that fast. To other people out there, if anybody hasn't done this sort of a thing before, it doesn't happen every day, but it happens. So, it's just like anything else. The more shots you take at it, the more chances you have of getting something to happen. So, if you get 9 no's, the 10th one is going to be a yes. So, don't be afraid to open your mouth and ask somebody if they're looking to get rid of the property. I called one earlier today. I'm waiting to hear back to see if it's going to be another phone call to Hunter.
I knew Mike was going to get motivated when he got that shut up check, because Mike's been sending us properties and he hadn't cashed on any. I mean, we've done some other business in the past.
Small checks.
But not like, smaller check, but not like this, So, I mean, $12,000 actually is a small check, but to be honest with you, because they can be bigger and they can be larger. So Mike's going to be more motivated, I'm sure, at this time. And I appreciate, again, Mike. I appreciate all the viewers and people that's been in our, friends with our companies or done vendor. We've, Mike's put roofs on for us. Mike's done windows for us. Mike's done some flooring, I think, for us. Some other stuff for us. Yeah. So what?
Start doing some gutters.
Start doing some gutters. Exactly. So you always got to have a good gutter guy. All right, Mike, man, I appreciate it. It's Transactional Tuesday, Hunter here. And look, that's how easy a deal can be done. It's really not that hard. You just need the documentation, the understanding, the language, how to satisfy a seller instantly so you get the deal and somebody else doesn't. And I can share that with you. How I drew up this contract on a napkin. It was a handshake. That's the type of person it was. I knew it, so I went for it, and it happened. And here's where we are sitting here today. Mike's $12,500 richer for 1 hour's worth of work. Might have had more time coming back to jumpstart my truck because my battery went dead the day we were out looking at the truck or at the house. So Mike had to come back and save me and not leave me hanging at the house. And he did graciously. And then we got out of there. And, so an hour, a good hour, probably an hour and a half, maybe worth of work for Mike and $12,500. Probably an hour and a half, maybe 2-3 hours work for me, $12,500, because I wanted to make sure, the contracts and then talking with the seller. Matter of fact, the seller called me for 2 weeks after we bought this thing, or a week after we bought it, telling me about all the things she had that we need to go pick up that she'd already ordered for the AC unit. The AC is brand new. He just ordered another filter, a washable filter, and all that. So he spent about $150 on material for the house. So Jack finally picked it up today because she keeps calling me and she goes, hey, the company keeps calling me. You haven't picked up your parts yet. And I'm like, what? I don't care about no $150 part. We just made $12,500, but she doesn't know that. But the thing is, the lady told me, Mike, she goes, Hunter, I know you're going to do really good on this house. This is the seller talking to me. And I said, Ellen, what is really good to you? She said, about 50 grand. So Mike, we only got 50% of what the seller said we were going to make. So I don't know. We didn't do too good. Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you coming on. Transactional Tuesday, Hunter Pascal, we're your man, and we love to see you on some deals. Make it happen. Thanks again, Mike. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Keep plugging out there, people. It's out there. It happens every day. You just got to put the mind to it, think about what you're doing, and do the next right thing, and it will happen for you too.